Bag snatching results in family properties burned. Rural schools in Morobe receive new uniforms. And slow-pitch softball attracts more corporates.
This is National EMTV News with Lorraine Gabina.
Hello and welcome to Saturday's news. Thank you for joining us. The snatching of a bag yesterday afternoon has resulted in the burning down of a family home and a mini trade store in Port Moresby. This comes after the owner of the bag, a known member of the Defence Force, retaliated and destroyed the property. Details of the incident are sketchy at the moment, but it is understood the family affected has lost their main source of revenue.
The incident happened last night when the relatives of the perpetrators were preparing to compensate and return the bag of the PNGDF soldier. They claim a group of men drove into the victim's premises where the house and store were located, assaulted community members, then set fire to the house and mini trade store.
Only kiss him fan belt now something where hard something was a rubber hose. When the Karim come we be more lapun about, we be more marrying about, even all we be me too. Making me go now, me play Lucina run away about.
There is a notable increase in bag snatching and other petty crimes in Port Moresby. Statistics from police report reveals that most incidents occur in the afternoon at bus stops, along traffic lights, roundabouts, and even marketplaces. Earlier this year, NCD and Central Divisional Commander Sylvester Calout issued warning to Port Moresby residents to take precautions when commuting around places where there is no police presence.
Unexpected something, Namibla Kirap no go through. Where house blowing play go down like flame. You know, at one black and formal mediation. You know, at one black and way by something that can take place or some look at them come up. All army, only come inside of this last settlement. Army Blotarama Barracks.
An official report is yet to be made to police, but settlers here claim that police did not respond to their calls when they were calling the Boroko police station. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
The burning of vehicles involved in road traffic accidents is becoming common in Port Moresby. Just yesterday, a privately owned white sedan was torched after it ran into a PNV bus about 200 meters away from the traffic police base at 4 Mile. This footage shows opportunists ripping the vehicle of parts minutes after it crashed into the PNV. The incident happened around 7 a.m. yesterday when people were traveling to work and school. The driver of the vehicle fled the scene unharmed, but because the matter was not reported to police, it is difficult to track down the owner of the vehicle. Students and staff of 2 remote primary schools in Manyama district of Morobe province were in full smile when receiving their new uniforms. This is because for the first time they will be wearing their uniforms thanks to the Morobe provincial government. They cost 150,000 kina and are part of the school uniform subsidy program.
Minyamia Primary School and Umba Primary School in Kome local level government yesterday received their uniforms from the Morobe provincial government. Morobe Governor Kelly Naru officially handed the bags of uniforms to both schools. The first school was Umba Primary with 240 students and their uniforms cost 40,000 kina.
Last year people start rolling out, all private school of Minyama all finished. Now I'm 2 plus school of Minyama all back.
The next recipient was Minyamia Primary School with an enrollment of 987 students and 21 teachers. Their uniforms cost 110,000 kina. The issuing of uniform is part of Morobe Provincial Government School Uniform Project rollout through the PSIP funds. This project targets remote schools before extending to schools in Lay City. This is part of a 3 million kina school uniform subsidy program endorsed by Provincial Executive Council in their last budget. Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Lay.
Meanwhile, the lack of proper road access is still a worry for the people of Kapau local level government in Menyama district. Although Kapau has a population of 15,000 who access health and education services, limited road access makes it difficult for materials to be ferried to these institutions. Community leader John Aweto told MTV News in Leh. However, Morobe Governor Kelly Naru in response said more will be done to improve the road network.
The first LRG in Myanmar you come across is Kapau LRG. They're accessible by road. It is the small roads, the network of the district roads linking the villages and so on is the one that they're talking about. But that's pretty much the responsibility of the district and the LRGs. And we are working closely with them. If they identify which road that really needs to be assisted, then we will work closely with them to assist. But Kapau is the first LRG that you get before.
Pope Francis calls for forgiveness and world peace. That with other stories when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Scout Association of PNG, the largest voluntary youth movement in PNG, prides itself in producing respectable young men and women through their practical training activities. The association has been in existence in the country for 90 years now and continues to grow, so much so that the government now acknowledges its importance with its inclusion in the annual national budget. Governor General Sir Michael Ogio announced this at the Scouts 2016 annual general meeting today.
The Governor-General declared that the policy documents have been approved for the annual national budget allocation and the funding of 1 million kina starting this year. He further noted that through the policy document, scouting programs can now be incorporated and be part of our national education curriculum. Through a Memorandum of Understanding, a review of the Act of the Scouts Association of PNG is now underway to capture these legislative endorsements. Ogio acknowledged SAPNG's efforts with assistance from the International Scouts Movement for developing the membership database for the registration and records of all Scouts joining the Scout movement. A system SAPNG's newly appointed Chief Commissioner Noel Penda stated was a solution to a problem the organization faced with unregistered groups claiming to be under SAPNG. Noel was in fact officially signed in by the Governor-General himself as the Chief Commissioner to SAPNG today. Melissa Gaviro, National MTV News.
Boana Technical Secondary School is the latest recipient of double classrooms and 3 staff houses. Nawai MP Giswat Sinuin said that construction of these buildings is expected to be completed in 2 months' time and called on the contractor to maintain quality. The education facilities are funded under the DSIP funds.
This one is funds from last year. And then also another special funds for 500,000 was given by the Department of Education to each districts in the country, 89 districts. So we are using that 500,000 to buy some plus pay the labor cost and the cost to transport here. But 1 million is from last year's DSIP. That's for the school, but we also use 2 million for other primary schools, remote schools, about 18 primary schools.
Panguna Primary School will see infrastructure that will improve teaching and learning. This is a commitment from the National Tourism Minister, Tobias Kulang. 100,000 kina has been budgeted for new teachers' houses.
In 2014, during his goodwill visit to the autonomous region of Bougainville, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill made a commitment of 500,000 kina to assist Panguna Primary School for the infrastructure, and that was classrooms. The Prime Minister made this commitment following the request from Philip Mirari, who is the president of the Panguna Makamwi.
And we talk also Mimi Sinan lo I blow school blow lo Panguna Primary School. We looking structure blow and I stop good. I mean like talk also by me put him 500,000 kina national government put him. Like starting this work. Starting this work.
During the National Tourism Minister's ministerial visit to the autonomous region of Bougainville recently, Towes Kulang made another commitment in Panguna. 100,000 kina is for new teachers' houses that will add value to teachers' work for quality education.
We can ignore that need when we are here. So I think it's important that we assist. So that money will go towards the fundraising that they're doing to build a teacher's house to complement the wonderful classroom facilities that has been erected as a result of our Prime Minister's commitment of.
Meanwhile, in appreciation, the Panguna Mekamis have named the school after the Prime Minister as Peter O'Neill Primary School because they claimed he was the first Prime Minister to have visited them since after the Civil War on the island of Bougainville. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
Pope Francis has made a historic visit to Auschwitz-Birkenau, the notorious former German Nazi concentration camp in Poland, to pay tribute to the more than 1 million people, mostly Jews, who lost their lives there in the Holocaust. Francis is the third pope to visit the site of wartime torture and killings and remained silent throughout, but he left a message noting the horror and the need to forgive. In the camp's guest book, Francis signed his name and wrote, "Lord, have mercy on your people. Lord, forgiveness for so much cruelty."
Is what he did. He spent his time in prayer, first at Auschwitz and then moving to Birkenau. In terms of his message, I would say it is one of memory and mercy. Memory, of course, in these places, it is important, just the gesture that the Pope is there. He has spoken about memory to the Polish authorities when he arrived here on Wednesday evening, and he spoke last night to the youth about the importance of memory, of knowing your history. Why do you need to know your history? Obviously, so it will not be repeated. But at the same time, the Pope says, with memory has to come forgiveness. Forgiveness for the atrocities that have been committed, or in the case of the kids, he said, you have to show mercy to one another as God has shown mercy to you. So the Pope's overall theme, not only for this morning's visit to Auschwitz and Birkenau, but also for this entire trip coming at this very critical time for Europe on a number of fronts, is certainly one of mercy. This is the year of mercy for Pope Francis, so the idea of forgiveness. Christy?
A very somber visit there to Auschwitz-Birkenau on day 3 of the Pope's visit to Poland. And while there, he continues to urge mercy and compassion for migrants. Tell us more about his message to the people of Poland and to the pilgrims there for World Youth Day.
Well, on the question of immigration, of course, this is a question not just for Poland. It is a question for all European countries. At this time, they're grappling with how to handle immigrants and asylum seekers. And Pope Francis has been very clear that he would like to see an open door policy. Now, there are two caveats to that. One is that when the Pope is in a host country, he doesn't try to hammer too hard on internal politics. But as this is also a European question, the Pope, again to the Polish authorities, said they have to have a spirit of readiness to welcome the immigrant. At the same time, Pope Francis recognizes, and he said to Polish authorities, that it is a complex question and that the conflicts that are occurring in those countries from which immigrants are coming also need to be addressed by the international community. So he struck a sort of balance in his message, but we all know that Pope Francis is very much in favor of keeping an open door policy. Of course, he's the Pope, so that's easy for him to say. It's got to be the politicians who figure out how to work that on the grassroots level. He mentioned it again to the young people in a different way, but the same concept. There are young people here from 187 countries around the world. He said, get to know each other. You are all brothers and sisters. So starting at a grassroots level with this new generation, which is so important for our future, this is where the Pope wants to start sowing those seeds of peace.
In Trukai Sports coming up next, we have AFL, softball and swimming. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Port Moresby AFL is into its third round of pre-season matches and hopes to gain momentum when the 2016 season is launched in a few weeks' time. Senior Football Operations Manager Rex Lecker said POM AFL is late with the competition this year because the venues are under construction. Games are now played at Taruma Barracks after POM AFL was permitted to hold matches there.
Despite having almost 20 teams, including the women's division, participating in the competition, POM AFL is expected to have a very short season this year due to the approaching PNG Games. AFL is expected to send 2 teams to the PNG Games, Team Central and NCD. Leka confirmed Team NCD is already in place and they are now focusing on putting Team Central together.
A really big call for us to make 2 teams, the Team Central and Team NCD, which we have confirmed Team NCD already. Team Central haven't, the Central Provincial Government, we're still waiting for the feedback from them. Because we've got a lot of talented players, young boys coming up the ranks. The skill level here is just, it has just come up to a standard where it's so fast again and it's a bit tough as well. So, heading up to West New Britain for the PNG Games, the West New Britons will be really ready for anyone try to get in there to get the gold medal there. I'm pretty sure Team NCD is getting itself prepared.
Selections for the 2017 Australian Football International Cup are ongoing and will continue during the PNG Games, in which AFL PNG will identify more talent to join the national team, the Mosquitoes. AFL PNG will also be on lookout for talent in the women's side as possible additions to the PNG Flames.
For the PNG Mosquitoes, we'll be doing another selection again in the PNG Games. We did one in 2014, straight after the International Cup coming back. We picked up a couple of new boys and we'll be having a look again in November up in West New Britain. We'll be having the coach and the CEO for AFL PNG coming up here as well. So we can do the selections for the Mosquitoes as well. And it's going to be a really tough selection.
Dini Rose Raiko, National EMTV Sports.
It's on again, the 2016 Pacific MMI Slow Pitch Corporate Competition at the Bissini Softball Diamonds in Port Moresby. The slow pitch competition has attracted various corporate houses in the capital city, and so far organizers are pleased with this.
Slow pitch is a great sport which anyone can enjoy in the code of softball. Corporate teams braved the blazing Port Moresby sun to compete in the Pacific MMI Slow Pitch Corporate Competition, playing in 4 pools.
A competition that the Port Moresby Women's Softball Association has decided to run, and this is the second competition that we've run that now, and it's really a way of bringing companies out of their workplace and to come here and enjoy themselves and, have a feel of the game of softball. And it's our major fundraising for the whole season, and we do that annually.
The competition is currently in its 3rd round and already starting to heat up.
Yes, so far so good. Everything's, been on time. Games are played on time. Teams are turning up. They're in full uniform, as you can see on the field. So they're all following what our requirements are, which is really, really good. Yeah.
With a number of regular softball competition players participating in their respective teams, they add an extra edge to the competition on offer.
Yes, we do have some regular softballers in the teams, in various teams, I think, but there might be 1 or 2 or 3, even 3 in each team. But of course, when they play, they have to limit, If they have 5, then all 5 of them cannot go in there, but otherwise they're there. And I think they also help those non-softballers to play, so they help coach them and mentor them. So yes, we do have.
The Bissini Softball Diamonds come alive on Saturdays for the competition and is expecting more supporters and fans. Dion Kombeng, National EMTV Sports.
Boroko Swimming Association in the nation's capital today ran their club carnival in their respective categories. PNG Swimming Incorporation President Elizabeth Welts said the number of members have certainly increased since last year. She hopes the new facility will encourage more parents to enroll their children at the club. And that's it for True Kai Sports. We bring you the weather details. That's coming up next.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
Taking a look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, mostly fine in Port Moresby and Daru, light showers in Kerema and Popondetta, and showers for Alotau. In the Momase region, light showers in Bay, mostly fine in Medang, and some showers in Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands, some showers in Lorengau, mostly fine in Kavieng, Kokopo and Rabaul, some showers in Kimbe and mostly fine in Buka. In the Highlands region, light showers then morning scattered fog for all centres. Before we go, our news headlines again. Bag snatching results in family properties burned. Rural schools in Morobe receive new uniforms, and slow-pitch softball attracts more corporates. That's the news this Saturday, the 30th of July 2016. You have a pleasant viewing. Bye for now.